Hello, this is Laon from Golden Memories. When we're young, goodbyes feel like something to fight against, something unfair, even cruel. But as the years go by, we begin to realize that saying goodbye is not always the end. Sometimes it's an act of love. Today's story is titled, Learning to Say Goodbye Gracefully. There was a time in my life when I believed every goodbye had to be resisted. I was in my 30s, and my father's health had started to fade. He was once a strong man, a carpenter who could fix anything with his bare hands. The smell of wood shavings and varnish always lingered on his shirts, and his laughter carried through the house like sunlight. But one winter, that laughter grew quiet. I remember the hospital's dim corridor, the sound of distant monitors beeping like hesitant heartbeats. The doctor spoke softly, too softly, I thought, as if kindness could soften the truth. "Your father doesn't have much time," he said. At home, I tried to act normal. I made tea the way he liked it. I read the newspaper aloud. But I couldn't say the one thing that mattered. "It's okay, Dad. You can rest." I clung to him with every visit, as though holding tighter could keep the world from changing. One evening, he asked me to walk with him to the small work shed behind our house. It had been years since he last built anything, but he wanted to see it again. The door creaked. The air smelled of sawdust and old varnish. He smiled faintly, brushing his fingers over the worn workbench. "Do you remember this?" he said. "You hammered your first nail right here." I nodded, my throat tight. He picked up a small wooden bird he had carved long ago, smooth, delicate, wings slightly crooked. He placed it in my hand. "When you're young," he said, "you think love is about holding on. But sometimes, love is learning to let go." His words lingered in that cold, dusty air, and though I didn't say it out loud, I understood. He was teaching me how to say goodbye, not with tears, but with gratitude. After that night, something shifted in me. Instead of fearing the inevitable, I began to listen more, to be present. We didn't talk about death directly, but we shared small things, old stories, favorite songs, quiet laughter. There was one afternoon when the winter light fell softly through the window. He looked at the sky and said, "You know, it's not so bad watching the seasons change." I realized then that he was already preparing himself, and maybe he was preparing me too. When the time finally came, I didn't cry at first. I just held his hand, whispering, "Thank you." It felt like releasing something precious, not losing it, but setting it free. Years later, I found that small wooden bird again while cleaning the attic. Its wings were still crooked, its surface a little cracked. I ran my fingers along its edges and thought of him, not with sorrow, but with warmth. In life, we say goodbye many times, to people, to places, to chapters of ourselves. We part with friends who once felt inseparable. We leave behind homes filled with laughter and photographs. We watch our children grow, realizing they no longer need us in the same way. Each farewell carries a quiet ache, but also a gentle reminder that love doesn't end when something changes. It simply takes a new form. I used to think that growing older meant learning to endure loss. Now, I think it means learning to recognize beauty in impermanence. The cherry blossoms that fall each spring don't sadden me anymore. They remind me that every moment, no matter how brief, can be complete in its own way. Sometimes, when I visit the park near my home, I see an old couple sitting side by side on a bench. They don't talk much. They just sit quietly, hands resting together. And I wonder if they too have learned that love doesn't need to be held tightly to be real. That sometimes, the most graceful way to say goodbye is simply to say, "Thank you for being here." To say goodbye gracefully, it doesn't mean we stop missing. It means we carry the memory gently, without bitterness, without resistance. It means allowing life to move forward while keeping a small corner of our hearts open for what once was. So if you're listening tonight, and there's someone or something you're learning to let go of, may you do so with love, not regret. May your goodbye be soft, like the closing of a familiar book whose story will always stay with you. This has been Laon from Golden Memories. As you drift into the quiet of the evening, perhaps think of someone you once had to say goodbye to, and smile, knowing that their story still lives within you. Until next time, may your heart find peace in every ending and warmth in every memory you keep.